Today on City Cast Chicago, it's Labor Day weekend, so it's the perfect time for a little Midwestern road trip. Or maybe you want to be a tourist in your own city. So I called in the homie and the host of City Cast Madison, Bianca Martin. I'm going to plan a quick trip to Madison while she's planning a trip around Chicago. And of course, since we're obsessed with competition, we'll see whose road trip reigns supreme. It's Thursday, August 31st. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about.
Man, we're about to throw down about what we know about each other's cities. To be fair, I lived in Chicago before I came up here, and my parents are from there. But I'm feeling pretty strong about this.
Yeah, lean into it. I understand. I don't have a huge history with Madison, but I've been there before, right? So I think we got a solid starting point. Bianca, I'm excited for this not-so-friendly competition.
I am so excited. I brought a little picture just to, can you describe it?
Is that FloJo?
It's FloJo.
The person who still owns the women's 100-meter and 200-meter world records, a 10.49. I'm not going to be able to beat you that fast, but I think 10 minutes, 49 seconds, my road trip might be kicking some ass over here. I've put a lot of hours. I've looked at every single podcast episode that you all have put out.
Okay.
And so you'll notice a lot of my picks are coming straight out of things that you've covered. Even some of my things that didn't make the list are things y'all talked about on your podcast. So I tried to butter y'all up a little bit to use a sort of thing Wisconsinites love.
Yeah, let's do it. Kobe,
right.
Take it over.
So initially, the ideas that I had planned spanned multiple days. There was honestly so much to do, and so, as somebody coming from Chicago, I don't just throw that out. But there were so many things that interest me that couldn't even make my list. One, for example, that I'm going to get out before I even start my itinerary because I think it's extremely cool. Y'all have a rooftop cinema series that's been taking place at the Madison Museum of Contemporary Art, and the last one is coming up this Thursday, and it's called Rewind and Play, and it's an hour-long look back at some sort of undiscovered footage of the life of legendary composer Thelonious Monk. It's going to be looking at some of those last traveling years when he was in France. And so that was one that if I came in on an early Thursday, I would definitely put that on my calendar. But I chose to sort of center my itinerary around a relaxing Saturday in Madison. All right, so I'm going to start my Saturday with some exercise. One of the great things that I learned about not just Madison, but Wisconsin at large is it has the second most amount of lakes in the United States behind Alaska, which I think has 3 million lakes.
Okay, I was about to say, you better not say Minnesota.
It's not Minnesota, right? They're coming in third behind Wisconsin. And so near Madison, there are about 5 lakes close by. And so I'm going to take the Lake Monona Lake Loop. Right? I heard in y'all episode that there's a little construction on Atwood Avenue, but by the time you finish this 10 to 12 miles, you feel very accomplished. And along that ride, I'm going to stop at the Monona Terrace to see the Otis Redding plaque. Many people might be familiar with Otis Redding, the soul singer who died in his 20s. Very tragically in a plane crash over Lake Monona on his way to a show in Madison. And so I'm going to stop by, pay tribute, listen to the OG original Respect in my headphones, sitting there with my bike, regain my breath before I head back out. I'm going to go from doing the bike loop. I'm going to stay outside and I'm going to make my way over to, and this might be very basic, but forgive me. But for people who listen to CityCast, they know I love a good farmer's market. Yes.
Found the right place.
Madison has one of the oldest farmer's market in the country. I believe it is 58 years old? 51 years old, the Dane County Farmers Market on the square. I was listening to y'all's episode, and Lindsay and her amazing rhubarb strawberry tart just got me. That was something I wanted a taste of. And though she goes out to the Monona Farmers Market because it's closer to her house, and some people in Madison would say that the Dane County Farmers Market is a tourist attraction. Luckily, I can lean into that because I'm a tourist. I'm going to, stop by and taste me a couple of cheeses, even though I'm getting to the age where, I need to pull back, start thinking about dairy alternatives, which,
We
I'm just
all
not feeling
are
it. G.
struggling
I'm not
with
feeling
that.
it. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And since I'm up there, I'm a lean in a little bit.
I'm impressed.
Hey, I appreciate you. I'm trying my best, right? But the next thing I'm going to do after I've cleaned myself up is I'm going to go see the Forward Madison Pro Soccer Team, a.k.a. the Flamingos, play at Breeze Stadium Field. Y'all did an episode back when they was in the top 2 in their league. They've fallen a little bit since then, but I think I'm going to go see them play the Chattanooga Red Wolves. So I'm going to stop by and see what's up. And then as I'm starting to get towards the end of the day, that's when I'm starting to think about food. During that lunch period early, maybe I would have stopped by something like the Old Fashioned if I'm feeling like some onion rings, some cheese curds, or a fish fry, something pulled right out of another City Cast Madison episode. But I might have to take my lunch at the Old Fashioned, and then for dinner. All right, this is where I'm gonna get a little bit bougie. I'm gonna move away. Y'all know the James Beard Awards were held in June in Chicago at the Lyric Opera, and Madison was represented on there. The best chefs in the Midwest, apparently, according to the James Beard, are found in Madison, and it's Ataru Nagano and Andrew Kroger at Fairchild. And so I'm gonna pull up and see what that Peterson, New York strip is hitting for with the mushrooms, the farm corn, and the blueberry. Anybody who mixing meats and blueberries, I love lamb with blueberries, but however you're using blueberries next to a steak, that sounds dope to me. And so I'm going to finish off to see what all the hype is over at the Fairchild. And that's my day. I've got some farmers markets. I got a bike around the lake. I got a fantastic meal. Hopefully I had enough time for some soccer. And that is my day in Madison. Shout out to me.
Shout out to Jacoby. I am very impressed with the amount of homework you did, and also that you were able to find the Otis Redding history, of course. Try a little tenderness. You got my heart tender from how much background research you did. So do I rank you now, or do I go straight to...
Unless you want to poke some holes in it, but if you want to save that, you can go on and He was like, well, bro, you cannot do all that in a day. Who do you think you are?
I think you could. I think you could.
I
I think that was a really good day. I'll save my scoring for later. I feel like you had some really solid picks there. I am kind of thinking about how beautiful it is that we've talked about so many of these things, and you're able to glean so much about Madison. That makes me really proud, and I'm glowing right now. I'm also glowing because I just love you. You're just wonderful. I know the rooftop would be a different day, but if you come early, that definitely is a beautiful idea. I mean, I'm obsessed. And Thelonious Monk, come on.
Come on.
Honestly, I feel like I'm glad that you did mention that up top, because our arts community is off the chain. Shout out to Jim Cruel. I'm pretty sure he's on that in terms of the rooftop cinema, and it is really magical. I have so many magic memories. Should I hit you with the Chicago list?
Yeah, it's time, G. It's time.
I had the beautiful opportunity of going back there. Both my parents and family, are from and grew up on the South Side, different parts of the South Side. And I moved back to work for WBEZ around in 2019 and over the pandemic. So I had this unique experience of getting there and be I'm gonna burrow down for the winter, and then I'm gonna hit the city, and then the pandemic hit. So I know I've got some holes, and it was so socially I got some holes, but I'm really excited to hear what you think about my day. Okay, morning. I'm gonna start out because I lived in Lakeview, which is the north side. So y'all, it's in quadrants. Would you call it quadrants? I already messed this up. It's north, south, and west.
I was going to say I appreciate that, because the east side folks are going to be like, thank you. We are an equal quadrant as well.
There you go. Yes. And they don't get the cred they deserve. So for the morning, I'm going to stop at La Maison Francaise in Lakeview. Not the new one in Lincoln Park, but the original one. because my favorite breakfast sandwich is there, and it's beautiful. It's a luxury. Like, it was like my treat. Get an egg croissant Sammy, and it's like done French style, get the little pickles and a lavender mocha.
Okay.
They got a nice little covered patio in the back, and that's magic. And I literally recently, when I did go back to Chicago for my birthday, I went and got that sandwich. So, high key recommendation. It's beautiful. Okay, we got your breakfast. We're ready. We're driving. So I'm going to drive down LSD, Lakeshore Drive. And also I'm bringing someone with me in my mind. I'm like, if I was going to do I'm going to show some people some stuff, this is what's happening. We're going to drive down Lakeshore Drive, see the lake, pass by Navy Pier. Don't have time for the Ferris wheel, but check it out. They're on our way south. Should be listening to Cruisin' by Smokey Robinson. Need some good vibes. And we're actually on our way to Promontory Point, which is the
Come on.
Promo.
Y'all got Picnic Point. We got Promontory Point. I like that.
Yes. And guess what? Picnic Point is my favorite place in Madison.
I was going to fit it in for you, but I couldn't get to it.
Look at you. Okay. Like, literally come. Promontory Point, beautiful, like, peninsula in Burnham Park. Just, like, go chill. Take it in. Like, you can, like, see multiple parts of the city. You can see far down all the way to Edgewater, looking back. And also on that drive, you can see, like, the big buildings and all the beauty in the river when you pass through the river that, like, during St. Patty's Day, they, like, pour green shit into. So you get a chance to kind of see downtown, what that's all about. We're just going to pretty much completely bypass downtown and Michigan Avenue. You guys can go on that trip another time, not with me. We're going to head after, like, chilling and Promontory Point, feeling it, like, just taking in the beauty and the community there. We're going to head to Haji Healing Salon in Bronzeville and get some community healing. That's a spot. They've got, like, it's a yoga studio of sorts, and they also have, like, an herbal apothecary, and it's very community-based. So we're going to do, like, a sound bath, some healing together. They're all reading All About Love by Bell Hooks right now, which I think is beautiful and indicative of the kind of community space they have there. So in Bronzeville, so we're on the south side, and we've done a bunch of healing. We're feeling good. We did our health, and now we're going to do some wealth for dinner and get some Lem's barbecue over in Grand Crossing.
I mean, if you want to stand in line for 50 minutes, be my guest. I was by Brown Sugar Bakery not too long ago, and even when it's cold outside, Lem's got a line, y'all. And so it's clearly worth it. It's clearly worth it, but you're going to be there for a minute. You're going to be there for a second.
The ribs are really, really good for those who eat ribs. But I did actually have on my list the Brown Sugar Bakery. Like, you could get that for dessert or maybe go there first, but you probably just want to get in line, But you're hopefully with someone or whatnot. So after you eat some ribs, you're going to want to walk. I recommend this next part is going to be, like, walking in Bridgeport by the Artist Row. Like, there are a bunch of murals and artists community over there that I thought was really neat to find out about. And this group called Community Kitchen. Not that you're probably full, but, like, I just think that that's a really cool area for people who are art heads. And then you're going to round out the day/night with music. I love live concerts. I live for that. So check out what's happening at Talia Hall in Pilsen. That's a historical, beautiful theater that I've just, like, always had such a nice experience there. I think the sound is done really well and it's gorgeous. But if there's nothing good, I'm going to recommend taking your butt back up to Shuba's Tavern up in Lakeview to be around some indie artists, local acts, whatever. I really like that spot, Shuba's. I found out that it was apparently formerly a public house for Schlitz Brewery. So some Wisconsin ties there. Not shocked. It's always Wisconsin bands that I see playing there. But yeah, that's my day in Chicago.
Well, if you actually in Chicago this weekend, Talia Hall got the Fly Honey show going on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's burlesque, it's music, it's dance, it's performance, all together. And you go downstairs, Talia Hall. When you're done with the show, go to Punch House, get you some cool cocktails. They got this like hidden room behind a bookshelf. You got to find the book to pull to get behind the bookshelf. Nobody really goes in there. Most people just sort of stand out in the general area trying to wonder, why is there so much fish decor in here? But if you go up to Shuba's and you hear the following weekend, you can come see me at Karaoke Storytellers. I'm hosting Karaoke Storytellers at Shuba's September 10th with an amazing lineup of singers and storytellers. And so those last two are very close to my heart. I love going to Punch House. I love going to Talia Hall. And Shuba's, I'm so grateful that they gave us the space to host karaoke as much as we do. So yeah, your list, I mean, you were in my neighborhood. I'm like 10 minutes from Promontory Point, probably 7 minutes from Haji. Lim's Barbecue is like another 20 minutes in the opposite direction, maybe 15, 20 minutes next to Brown Sugar Bakery. And so a lot of your list. A lot of your list, it really hit for me. And it's a huge city. And so even though you came from Lakeview as far down as Greater Grand Crossing, in a car, that is actually pretty doable during the day to sort of, you got to start early, but you could get from Lakeview to Greater Grand Crossing up to Pilsen. And the where you put things in terms of time of the day, very reasonable, very reasonable.
Totally. Should we rate each other?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be nice here. I'm gonna be, because usually I would
no nice.
No, I meant in the sense of like, usually I would just give you a 3, because then you got to give me some higher than a 3, then I win. No. I'm gonna give you a 8.8 overall for your day. The fact that you got barbecue in there, the fact that you pulled the Kamala and stopped by Brown Sugar Bakery, those two grabbed my heart immediately, right? The fact that you found time, because, for all of the, shots that, especially us Southsiders love to take, you could spend the whole day in Lakeview, right? And I would understand filling your entire day with the great activities that are available, right? It's so much to do up there. But the fact that you are not only coming down DuSable Lakeshore Drive, passing Navy Pier, maybe avoiding a little Michigan Avenue to get into the neighborhoods, that resonates with me. So I'm giving you an 8.8. You would have hit a 9 or higher if you weren't trying to see the river from Promontory Point, because you ain't gonna see that. You ain't gonna see that.
No, on the drive.
On the drive up Lakeshore, you ain't gonna see the river.
You don't see that? What don't you drive? You drive over it.
Oh, you talking about, I thought you meant down at the point. I'm going to still give you the 8.8, but that's a good point. I thought you were sitting at the point looking at the river. I was like,
oh, no.
Where that river at? Where that river? 8.8 overall, though. 8.8 overall, though.
Okay,
I like that.
I'm going to be honest. You did such homework, and blown away by also bringing us dates. You did a lot of work, and you clearly are going to come visit, and I am an obnoxious softie, so I'm also going to give you an 8.8.
I love that you use obnoxious softie as you're like, but I'm also highly competitive, and I'm not giving you a higher score than me, Brody.
Yeah, no, you didn't win. So for Madison, for what it's worth, I think what makes sense is almost the flip, which is once you get here and you would have a chance to live here, you get to get out further away from the cap. So much is happening near the Capitol, and also like on the Near East Side, like with the soccer. You also did the Monona Loop, which is beautiful, because that would get you a lot of things, but in terms of like neighborhoods and places to eat and that sort of thing, like we're missing some neighborhoods a little bit further out, which would just take some time. So come visit us.
Hey, I appreciate that. A little bit of advice, bigging up the list. I appreciate you, Bianca. We've been hoping to do some form of a Chicago-Madison crossover conversation. I think this was a perfect way to start it off. Bianca Martin is the host of City Cast Madison. You can listen wherever you get your podcasts.
And Jacoby Cochran is the host of City Cast Chicago, and you better go listen because it's off the chain. I've been listening. It's part of we're all together here. Midwest, Third Coast.
Before I let you go, some good news. If you're not road tripping this weekend, here are some other things to do to enjoy your extended Labor Day. 1, the African Festival of the Arts in Washington Park on the south side, or 2, Taste of Polonia in Jefferson Park on the northwest side. Both festivals begin tomorrow and run through Monday. You can check the show notes for more information. As always, we appreciate you for listening. Make sure you're reading our daily newsletter, Hey Chicago, at chicago.citycast.fm. If you've got any ideas for the podcast, let us know at 773-780-0246. Leave your name, your neighborhood, and your idea for the podcast. We'll talk to you bright and early tomorrow. Peace.